Hi everyone, it's Miss Tracy here and I'm going to show you how to cook a basic pasta sauce today, and that's what I'm going to be having later. So I've currently got the kettle boiling, you might be able to hear it in the background, and on the hob I've got like a little wok frying pan thing going on and a saucepan. So what I'm going to be doing when the kettle boils is I'm going to be filling my saucepan with water. I'm going to add some salt and turn that on and get it boiling so that I can get my pasta cooked, and I'm going to show you how to again prepare a basic pasta recipe using the ingredients I have to hand. So let's get going. So I've got my onion and I've got garlic today, just 1 clove of garlic. I've also got a tin of chopped tomatoes. If you do a plum tomatoes, when you open the tin, just chop them up with some scissors. I've also got some Italian seasoning. Now, in a pasta sauce, normally if you just put something along the lines of a bit of dried basil or oregano, those are the typical traditional Italian herbs you can use. I've also got good old-fashioned salt and good old-fashioned pepper. So what I'm going to do first of all, as always, is chop the onion. So I've got 2 knives today. I've got a smaller knife and a big knife in case I want to mince my onion a bit finer. So I'm going to chop, as always, claw, chop the end, chop the top off, and again slice down the middle. I did sharpen my knives earlier. I didn't want to put you through another minutes of me sharpening a knife. So peeling the onion as always, and then what I'm going to do, which is a bit different to what I did yesterday, is I'm going to chop the onions quite finely. With your pasta dish, you might decide that you like it chunky or you want to have a smooth sauce, so the difference between those is a blender really. So once you peel the onion, what you're going to do is this: you're going to hold the onion and you're going to cut halfway through. So you should be able to see there, the onion looks like that. It's got a little mouth. And then what I'm going to do is make slices down the onion lengthways, turn the onion, and then I'm going to chop it. And as you can see, I'm getting small little chunks that way, no big chunks. And then with the end, just chop them like that. So you can see here, hopefully, some little chunks that break up. That'll just make it easier later on when I'm cooking. So again, do the same. I've got the root there to make it easier for me when I'm chopping. So cut. And cut. I'm not going to put the root in there, so I'm just going to chop around that. So that's my onion cut up. I've got my little recycling bin, so I'm going to throw everything in there. Not the garlic clove though, where's that gone? Just there. So with the garlic clove, I'm going to be mincing that because I don't want big garlic chunks in. So there's 2 ways you can cut a garlic. You can cut the ends off like that as always, or put your knife down flat, hands away from the edges, and just push down and put your weight behind it, and then in theory you should just be able to peel the garlic clove and get it out of the skin quite easily. You can chop it if you want. I'm going to use my little garlic press, so all I'm going to do, press down like that, it should come out, scrape it off, and because my mince is not the best one, I'm just going to push the remainder in that's come out. But I like to have my garlic, like to keep the vampires away, and push it down like that. So those are my basic ingredients ready. I could chop these a bit finer, but I think they're quite small anyway, so that'll be fine in my sauce. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pans heated up, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've got my pan here, I'm going to turn it on I have it on a high medium heat. I don't want it too hot because I don't want the onions to burn, but you can probably see there, got a flame going. So I'm going to heat up my pan first. When I'm happy with the temperature, what I'm going to do is put a splash of olive oil in, and then I'm going to slowly add the onions. With the water, I've put a bit of salt in, just normal table salt. So I'm going to turn that on now and have it on a reasonably high heat to start off with to get it boiling. So my pan's slowly coming up to heat now. So what we're going to do is, sometimes people throw onion and garlic in at the same time, but the garlic burns quite quickly. So what we need to ensure we're doing is that we're cooking the onions for a few minutes first, and then we're going to add the garlic and fry that off for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then we're going to add the tinned tomatoes, the herbs and the seasoning, and we're just going to cook that down. That's all it's going to be really. And then when our pasta is cooked, so that's going to take about 10-11 minutes, depending on how you like it. I like mine quite soft, so I'll probably cook mine for a bit longer. Once that's done, what you're going to do is drain the pasta and then put it in the sauce and coat it. I will show you how to do that. So my pan's coming up to heat now, so I'm going to add some olive oil. So I've only got a little bit of olive oil in there. I'm going to turn the heat down a bit because it's starting to smoke. You might be able to see my olive oil there. So that's quite warm now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my onions, which are here, and with a knife I'm going to push them off the chopping board into the pan. Now you should already hear that sizzling. So I'm going to get a spatula. You can use a little wooden spoon, anything you've got to hand really, as long as it's not your actual physical hand, then we're all good. And I'm just going to coat the onions in the oil, so you can see them there hopefully, cooking away. I'm going to add a bit of salt to help the onions caramelise, to help them cook. I'm not a chef, I'm just a normal home cook, so any terminology I use that's incorrect, I do apologise. I don't have any cooking qualifications, just what people tell me that I can cook. Forgot to get the sugar. So we also need some sugar for the tomatoes. So my onions are cooking away. I'm going to give them another minute or so to get them nice and soft. They've got a lovely golden colour. I think that's because I cooked a curry in this pan and it had some turmeric left over somewhere. So it might be a bit of a curried pasta sauce, who knows. You see they're cooking away. Nice and golden. Drop some, going back in. So you just want them so that, you know, they're soft. You don't want hard crunchy onions in your pasta sauce. And that obviously comes down to later on whether you decide you want to blend the mixture and make it really smooth and creamy, or whether you're just going to have it as is, chunks. Depends how bothered you can be really. Right, I'm going to add the garlic now. So garlic goes in. I'm going to throw my chopping board and knife into the sink so I can wash them. And my water's coming to boil now for the spaghetti. I'm using spaghetti today, but you can use any pasta you want, because I really like spaghetti. So I'm going to take a handful of spaghetti, a bit extra because, like I say, it's 2 of us, so about that much spaghetti. Probably even have half of that. I'll be good, I'll halve it slightly, not completely. I'm not a monster. Right, and all I'm going to do is twist that and throw it into my pan. So you can see it sticking out there. Now I've ended up with a stray bit of pasta in my onions. Right, so the onions are cooking away now, so I'm going to get my tin tomatoes, I'm going to open them. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pour them in. Hear that sizzle? And then I'm going to fill this tin up with a bit of water. about halfway. I'm going to shake it, and as you can see, that starts to get the rest of the tomato juice. And then I'm just going to pour that in and give it a stir. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pinch of sugar. The sugar helps with the acidity of the tomatoes, really, because otherwise the tomato is quite tart if you don't add some sugar. So just a pinch. Put the sugar back. As I forget, I'll get told off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pinch of pepper. And I'm going to add some herbs. Normally you need about a teaspoon, maybe a bit more, depends how herby you like it. Give that a stir. And I'll show you what it looks like now. It should look like that. Can you see? Lots of steam. Yeah, and there's my pasta. It's high tech, this, isn't it? And all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat up a bit on the tomato sauce and bring it to a boil to get it cooking. It doesn't take that long. What I'm going to do is also I'm going to get a fork, and I'm going to stir the pasta because it's started to fall into the pan now. So just to break it up, otherwise you end up with clumpy pasta. That's starting to boil away. A bit of sunlight coming in now, so it might have gone a bit light. So basically all I'm going to do is leave the pasta to cook away. I'll probably cook it for about 10 minutes. I'll get a little spoon, taste it, and see if I need to add anything. So when you do that, you're checking for seasoning. Does it taste nice? Does it taste right for you? Don't put the spoon in your pan, eat it, and then put the spoon back in. That's how we're going to spread germs. Alright? But as always, see how it goes on. As soon as my pasta sauce is cooked, what I'll do is I will drain the pasta as long as that's cooked as well. No one wants hard pasta. And then I'll coat it in the sauce. So I'll show you that as soon as the pasta sauce is ready. Okay, so my pasta's cooked now. There's different ways you can try it out, but I just like to get a load, try and grab one without burning myself and just eat it. Oh yeah, still just put a bit more salt on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little cup, I'm going to put it, obviously holding the handle, and get some of the pasta water, because what I'm going to do is when I coat the pasta in the sauce, I'm going to add some of this just to make it silkier. So, get your colander or your sieve. Now what you're going to do, you're going to turn the heat off, otherwise you're going to waste electricity. And then you're just going to take your pasta and you're going to take it over to the sink and drain it. Give it a shake. And then all I'm going to do, I'll show you my pasta sauce. That's reduced there. I've not blitzed it. I'm just going to throw the pasta in to the sauce. And I'm going to move it around, so there you go, coating it as we go. Going to add some of the reserve juice from the spaghetti and just coat it, turning it, figure of 8 it, and there it is. So let me show you that. There's some lovely spaghetti coated in the sauce. And what I've also done over here is I had some fresh basil, so that was a bonus. And all I've done is wash it and I've chopped it up. So I roll it in a ball, and I'll show you that another time. And using the big knife, I've just diced it. So hopefully that was straightforward enough for you to make your own pasta sauce. I look forward to seeing what you do. Alright, take care, bye bye.